Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to this pair of games extolling the virtues of platoon mates, basically. So, we're going to start off with one of my games. I'm here driving the Panzer IV Schmolturm, Tier 6 German medium tank. It's a tank I actually like and have fun in, but it's not a tank I seem to be able to get many wins in. Now, I'm in the platoon here with Careless One in his T150, and we'd played a few games, and the matchmaker really had been messing with us badly. You know, just Tier 8 game after Tier 8 game after Tier 8 game to break it up with a Tier 7 game, and then back to Tier 8 games, and they tended to be whitewash matches that were over very quickly and not in our favour. So, I must admit, when we came to this game, there was an element of trepidation, as I was expecting something similar. But for starters, it's a Tier 6 game, which is, well, a nice change of pace. So myself and Careless are both coming over to this flank. We've got some other people coming over here as well. In fact, you know, a fair chunk of our team is coming over in this direction. And we're going to see what we can do. So we're here, of course, on steps. That be the name of our map. And first things first, can I shoot this T-34-85? Depends how incautious he's going to be, and the answer is no. Yes, there we go. There's a shot into him, and he's going to stay there, so there's a second. I do, however, take a hit from the, was it the T-34 or the Ram? No, it must have been from that T-34, because the Ram doesn't do that much damage in one shot. Oh, T-34 appears to have learnt his lesson. He's not going out again. To allow me to put another shot into him, which makes me sad. Very sad. Ah, well, c'est la vie. So, we've lost an M7 and an M8A1 so far, which is slightly suboptimal, but there we go. On the flip side, at least they're not top-tier tanks that we've lost, so there is that. Careless is putting down a good amount of damage onto these bad guys as well, and we eventually, I just had a finger twitch there, I think. We eventually managed to kill one of them at least. Ooh, nice spot of damage there. And, you know, even though we've lost some more tanks, so the scoreline is currently 1-6. So this is looking like another fairly one-sided game, and, you know, we'd gotten sick of these at this point, I will be honest. So just seeing if I can pick up the kill on this T-34. Unfortunately, he drops down, so I can't. I get spotted for my troubles, so screw that. Back off. Careless has decided, screw this for a game of soldiers. I'm going to go and kill them, and I'm going to go and support him, because he's the only guy in this entire game I can rely upon to do anything. So, yeah. Careless has moved up. There's a Panzer IV-D there. Panzer IV-D isn't really that much of a threat to a T-150. He can penetrate me, but Careless doesn't have to worry too much. But I'm pushing up, trying to be a little bit aggressive. We need these guys to die. Once these guys die, we can head back to our base. But before that, it's slightly awkward. Careless puts a shot into this T-34, allowing me to pick up the kill, making the scoreline 4-7. T-34-85 over here. Oh, I bounce on him, which is slightly unfortunate. Let's try that again, shall we? He bounces on me, and I manage to pick up kill number 2. Still got that Ram over there being a bit of a nuisance. Careless puts a big shot into the rear of that Panzer IV-D. Someone else manages to put a shot in, leaving the guy on 2 HP. And Careless finishes off the KV-1S. Nice target prioritization there. It's much more important to kill the KV-1S than a Panzer IV-D. And as it is, I'm able to make the Panzer kill number 3. Kill number 4, of course, for the platoon. So suddenly the scoreline is 8-7. We've lost the other flank, but we've managed to kill enough of them on this flank that things are evened up somewhat. Now, I'm rather concerned about the state of our base defense. You can see there a KV-1, a VK36018. There should be another KV-1 around there somewhere as well. All coming over to do the business with our base, and I don't want them to do the business. So I'm heading back to help this VK defend it. Careless, along with some other teammates, are pushing on toward the enemy base. Scoreline is 8-8 at the moment. So trying to use my 8 degrees of gun depression. I do of course have a review of both these machines, the T150 and the Panzer IVS, for any who are interested. KV-1 gets spotted, and nah, no penetration there. He's well angled and hidden the weaker parts of his armour. However, if he comes around the side of that rock, not so much. There's kill number 4. Another KV-1S, see if we can work this guy over. There we go. 2 more shots should do the business. Still 2 more shots. They need to be decent shots. Nah. The accuracy on this gun is not bad, but it's not absolutely fantastic. I mean, tier 6 medium tanks don't tend to get absolutely, you know, spellbinding accuracy or anything. But either way, eventually managed to pick up the kill on him. That leaves this VK3601H. Ooh, he's taking... Our VK is taking some fire, and I don't have shots on the enemy VK, unfortunately. Which is a bit sad. Our VK dies, and the enemy VK has the health advantage on me. So, we'll see if we can outplay this guy. Now, I do have some allies within shooting distance of this fellow, so it's not as if I'm completely alone, and as it turns out, this VK is actually stock. So that works out in my favour. Now I'm aware that there's a Chaffee running through our base, but I just want to make sure this VK dies first. Prioritise our fire, and Careless actually picks up the kill. So that VK is down. Chaffee time. Now, depending on how well that Chaffee plays, he could actually be a problem, and that was a terrible shot from me. And he's actually going to circle me, and the traverse speed on the Panzer IV is not great, neither is its all-round armour. So there's 1 shot into him. That one bounces because the Chaffee gets rather dodgy penetration. I put a shot into him, he tracks me. I've already used my repair kit to put the track back on. He puts another round into me, and I'm eventually able to execute him for kill number 6. And suddenly, it's only the Ram 2 left. Now you can see Careless has also taken a bit of a battering, so's the Matilda. All of the remaining tanks on our team have taken a bit of a battering. The Matilda's a 1 shot for this Ram, but the Ram would have to put quite a few shots into either myself or Careless One in order to kill us. And we of course would return the favour. So just trying to find this Ram. I'm trying to take the slightly longer way around. The Panzer IV does prefer to fight engagements at range, and the T150 prefers to fight engagements up close and in your face, so that kind of works out to both of our strengths, hopefully. Assuming, of course, that Careless runs into the Ram. And the Ram 2 in this situation is kind of screwed. Now, if he loads APCR, the 180 penetration, I think it is, that he gets with APCR, can make a mess of any of the tanks remaining on this team. He would struggle to penetrate the T150 with the 6-pounder, but with APCR, sorry, firing AP, but with APCR he would do the job. And as it turns out, there's the Ram, and he's only on 100 health, and Careless executes him. And that's the game. We actually managed to win one. It required us getting 9 kills between us, but we managed to win one. So let's go and see how we did. So here we go. That was enough for an ace tanker for me. Fire for effect, duelist, bruiser, top gun, and a Brothers in Arms medal. As each of us in the platoon survived and got ourselves at least 3 kills. 1,598 damage done, which isn't actually a vast amount. I mean, it's decent for a tier 6, but it's not a vast amount. 6 kills, 1,077 base experience, which isn't actually that much for an ace tanker at tier 6. People don't seem to do that well in the Panzer IVS is the only thing I can think. Now, despite the fact that I got twice his kill count, Careless One actually managed more damage. He got 2,739 damage, 3 kills, 1,260 base experience. And whilst I don't know for sure, I wouldn't be surprised if that was an ace tanker for him. And although I don't know exactly what medals he picked up 3 of them. One of them will be a Brothers in Arms, I imagine one of them will be a High Caliber, and I imagine one of them will be a Steel Wall. But I could be wrong. Commiserations to the enemy Ram 2, nice amount of damage, but not enough to make that a win. SU-100Y also managed a respectable amount of damage, but between us, myself and Careless were able to carry that game. 26 shots fired from me, 20 hits, 15 pens for that damage count, most of which was from relatively close range. 7 hits received, 5 penetrations, 2 bounces, or 2 didn't penetrate at least. Only 180 damage blocked by our armour though. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 7 damaged, 6 destroyed, 78 assistance damage, 2.5 kilometers travelled, and a 26,000 credit profit. With a premium account, that would have been a 41,000 credit profit. So, quite a nice game there from both myself and Careless One. Let's go and have a look at another game. Here's our second game then. This is sent in courtesy of Lurky. 5500, of course, he has since changed his name, as you may remember from another video, and is now called Polestar. So this is from Polestar. He is driving the Cromwell Tier 6 British medium tank, and he is in a platoon with a clanmate, Mad Jackie, who is driving the Cromwell Berlin, the Tier 6 Premium British medium tank. So this is essentially a Cromwell platoon. And I know for a fact that Polestar really does like his Cromwell, and I can't really blame him. It's a great machine. The only reason I sold mine was because I had the Cromwell Berlin, and they're basically the same tank. It's just one's a premium. So I'll use the premium and train whatever crew I want. We're here on Malinovka, and this is a Tier 7 game. Malinovka is actually quite a nice map to have in a Cromwell, as you can use the mobility quite effectively and the good gun. Now, unfortunately, Polestar is struggling to find a shot on that artillery there, but there's an AMX ELC BIS. One shot misses, second shot misses. The aiming time on this gun, or the aiming stats on this gun, not fantastic. And unfortunately, the Lux, who was doing the spotting there, has just died. You might be looking at this thinking, oh, these shots are a bit naff, but the ELC is a tricky target to hit when moving at speed, so don't be too hard on Polestar there. The Lux actually did a really nice amount of spotting there. Unfortunately, he pushed up just a little bit too far. He wasn't in good enough cover, and he died for it. But if he'd chosen his position a bit more carefully, he could have survived. But, you know, them's the breaks. These things happen. So the platoon has come over to this side of the map. They're not sitting in camping base, which is nice to see. It does annoy me when people just sit in their own base on this map, especially when they're driving heavy tanks and medium tanks, and basically especially when they're driving anything that's not a TD. So the two of them here are going to push forwards. They're not having any of this camping lark. They are the two furthest forward members of their team. Scoreline is of course 3-3 at the moment. Tog has been spotted, OI has been spotted, and between the platoon mate they should be able to put a lot of pain down on these guys. And they are focusing down the Tog. Now the Tog gets a lot of health to work with, and actually Polestar gets spotted there. Tog gets a lot of health to work with, but the combined fire of two of these 75mm guns, and the Cromwell does get very high DPM, it's worth pointing out. The combined fire of these guns can make even a Tog pause for thought. 278 health. Oh, that one missed. 140. Can Polestar pick up the kill? 15 health left, but Mad Jackie manages to finish off the Tog. So there we go. There's 1500 health just being evaporated, and Mad Jackie in particular was able to farm a lot of damage on that guy. There's the artillery. Polestar is just moving forward here. He's fast enough to do so. And he is going to be, I guess, acting a little bit like Scout. Puts a shot into the Hummel. Mad Jackie finishes him off. And now this 87, VK, T29, they are all being lit up. Now, some of these targets are actually quite tricky penetrations from where Mad Jackie is going to be. But this VK, not so much. And indeed, Polestar is actually able to snipe this guy's commander's hatch without any problems, which I find fairly amusing. The VK is clearly not taking the hint that he is getting shot to hell here, and it looks like the VK might actually have managed to put in a single round, but trading that single shot for his life, not really worth it, is it? T29, 87, there's the 87, and of course the 87 has the commander's hatch, so while I said the 87 might be tricky to penetrate from here, well, it does of course get that commander's tower to worry about. And the gun depression on the Cromwell, it's not the best gun depression in the world, but at 8 degrees it's decent and perfectly usable. And Polestar's just able to abuse it, or abuse the position of this commander's tower to put shot after shot into this commander's tower. and this 87 is just having a bad day. Now, to be fair to him, he is trying to use the wreck of this VK as cover, but it's so hard to hide those weak spots on the British tanks. Now, that felt like an artillery shell or a HE shell or something from the left-hand side, so that's something to be concerned about, shall we say. Oni is there, although I very much doubt he was the one to put the shot into Polestar. You know, it just didn't. I don't think it came from that direction. It seemed to come from downrange somewhat. And Polestar's platoon mate is just putting shot after shot into this Oni, combined with some of the other teammates, and this Oni is not having a good day. And hopefully he is not long for the world. Polestar trying to see if he can find shots. There's the commander's tower again. Misses the shot. Can he make this one count? No. Well, it hits, but it doesn't penetrate. There we go. And that's the kill, just as Mad Jackie takes out the T-150. So we've got this Oni, is sort of the next closest. There's also an OI over there, but he's not having a good day. Oni is dead. And you can see these two guys really working well together. One of them is providing the fire support, the other one is being scout. And between them, this T-29 is screwed. Oh, it's actually the OI who picks up the kill on the T-29. Fair enough. Tiger, heavy tank number 6, otherwise known as the historical Tiger, and the 5916 are the only ones left on the enemy team now. Polestar is actually starting to run a little low on ammunition, so it's a good thing most of the enemy team are dead at this point. Polestar moving around. Cromwell, of course, it's a medium tank, but it basically plays like a big light tank with a good gun and good matchmaking. And it's a huge amount of fun. If any of you haven't played the Cromwell, I highly recommend it. It's not for everyone. You know, there are downsides to the tank, like the fact that the aiming stats suck on the gun and the armor is pretty terrible. But it's a fun machine, and I have to recommend it. Tiger 1 there. Tiger 1 is now looking at Polestar. Other people are shooting the Tiger 1, and the Tiger 1 has gone to a better place. Heavy tank number 6 has already gone, and so that just leaves this 5916. Now, still have to be a bit cautious. Depending on what gun that 5916 is using, it does get access to a 76mm autoloader that could clip Polestar for the remainder of his health. So hopefully that doesn't happen. The guys are currently sitting on a Brothers in Arms medal, and actually the enemy 5916 drowns himself, and that is the game. Bit of an anticlimax there, but nonetheless a good game from both platoon mates. Hopefully they were well rewarded for it. So here we go. This was Ace Tanker, Spotter Ribbon, Fire for Effect, Brothers in Arms, and a Patrol Duty medal for Polestar here. If we actually look at the two platoon mates, one got 1,647 base experience and one got 1,702. So that was a very impressive carry between the two of them. Mad Jackie got 3,701 damage, 4 kills, and 1,647 base experience, along with 945 spotting damage. Polestar got 2,512 damage, 3 kills, but he got more base experience. How can we explain that? Well, of course, 3,231 assistance damage might have something to do with it. 37 shots fired, 22 hits, 19 pens for that damage count, most of which was from relatively close range. Only took 2 hits, didn't bounce any because Cromwell. Spotted 2 enemy tanks, damaged 8, destroyed 3, travelled over 2 kilometres, and with a premium account made a 57,000 credit profit. Would have been a 35,000 credit profit with a standard account. So a very nice game overall. I hope you guys enjoyed that pair of games. If you did, by all means feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel, and I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao ciao.